Ever since the end of the Second World War, Tories have had an uneasy relationship with Europe, though the most famous statesman they've ever had was a fan.
We hope to see a Europe where men of every country will think as much of being a European as of belonging to their native land.
It was almost 3 decades before another Conservative Prime Minister, Edward Heath, signed us up to what was then the European Economic Community. But even some of those who supported it at the time and later became cabinet ministers regret doing so now.
I voted to go into the common market in the 70s, and I greatly regret that I did vote there. Ted Heath got it through the House of Commons with, I think, a majority of 6. So there was never really an overall a keen majority to enter even the common market.
John Nott served in Mrs Thatcher's government. She likened herself to one of history's bloodiest warmongers in a speech about Europe in Europe.
If you believe some of the things said and written about my views on Europe, it must seem rather like inviting Genghis Khan to speak on the virtues of peaceful coexistence.
No, it's been like this for 20-odd years at least, and I mean for 150-odd years.
Jeff Evans spends his life studying the ebb and flow of British politics. The Oxford University professor says if our electoral system was more like Europe, then both Labour and the Tories might squabble less about Europe.
Within each party, you've got at least 2 parties struggling to get out. If we were in Europe and we adopted, say, the standard PR system that almost every country in Europe has, they'd have split a long time ago, I think. And then you'd have had more coherent parties, but more of them.
John Major calls some in his own cabinet bastards as he wrangled with the Maastricht Treaty in 1993. One of those who voted against it from outside the cabinet was Bill Cash, who still has issues with Europe.
What John Major did was to allow, by treaty, the creation of European government. That was the biggest mistake of all, because it was inconsistent with the British people being able to make the decisions for themselves in general elections on a whole range of issues. The creation of European government was a catastrophic mistake.
Will Brexit, whatever form it takes, bridge the conservative divides over Europe once and for all? Don't hold your breath. David Bowden, Sky News in Oxfordshire.